Soul Chat is finally back. Alright, so the Timberwolves swept the Nuggets. Ooh, and the Knicks swept the Hawks. So, and the Wizards actually got one. They won. Oh no. No, the Thunder. I don't want to go against the Thunder, man. I don't even want to go up against the Mavs.
The Western Conference NBA playoffs, round 1 continues. The Spurs have a commanding 3-0 series lead. Is it time for their dreams to be realized, for their thirst to be quenched? Find out tonight as they do battle against the Rockets. Will there be an upset in round 1? It's all coming up next.
And this is it, Game 4 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. We're looking at what could be a very short series. Good evening, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Stan Van Gundy and Greg Anthony. On our sideline, David Aldridge. And the starting group for the Spurs. Sohan is the 4 with the lengthy Wembanyama playing the 5. Young is out there with Castle. And it's Vassell in at the 3 spot. And for Houston, the post pair form, it'll be Smith and Şengün. Thompson is out there with Fred VanVleet. And it's Whitmore in at the small forward. You look at the Rockets. This series has gotten completely away from them now. Greg, they haven't played well. They look frustrated. They're all over the place.
They are, but they're also at home. And that's the one thing they can lean on to try and turn this thing around. I mean, it would be crazy to think that they could pull this off, but let's face it, Kev, they've got a long way to go.
Crazier things have happened now.
Matching baskets from the perimeter, an earmark of today's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
And the basket by Castle.
See, now that layup isn't possible without the help of the pep.
Pass to Smith. First quarter of play, 1 minute played. Offline with his 3.
Defensive breakdown there, and they got lucky. He's not going to miss too many of those.
Young against VanVleet. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Such a threat to score. Really hard for a defender to stay down on their feet.
And so Young nails them both.
I'm sure they don't want to send him to the line. That has to be in their scouting report.
Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
I was able to talk with Ime Udoka for a minute. Now, I asked him about trying to slow down Trae Young, and the coach said you have to get the ball out of his hands. He can hurt you with the pass and with his shot. I'm not going to be surprised if you see them blitzing and doubling him a good portion of the game. Back to you.
Thanks, David. Here's Vassell. Following the basket by Fred VanVleet. Again, the miss by the Spurs. For Houston, they've gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. Pass to Smith. VanVleet deciding where to go with it. The 3. Rebound by Sohan.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can count on him to continue missing.
Young, no good. Houston's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Here's VanVleet, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And a shoot-first point guard, VanVleet, understands how to get defenders to foul him when taking shots.
Houston shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good, VanVleet.
And, you know, it takes an intelligent player to match up with bigger guys and win. Fred VanVleet is that player. He can outsmart guys who have, on paper, the advantage.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Wembanyama sets a screen for Young. Pass to Wembanyama. Şengün with the rebound.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And we've got a timeout from Greg Popovich. He's going to have a discussion here on the sideline. San Antonio with the ball. One of the toughest teams for certain this season. They've hit the 60-win mark.
And fantastic team play. They've been fairly fortunate with good help along the way, adapting to everything that's been thrown at them. This group is a top contender, no doubt, for a deep playoff run.
And so it's Houston with it after the basket by San Antonio. With the tip. Pass to Whitmore. Good, and the assist goes to Şengün.
And this is crucial to Whitmore's development, wanting to continue to improve as a scorer.
Van Vliet against Young. Puts up a deep three. Rebound by Smith. And it's Smith with the ball. He brings it up for the Rockets. Thursday's loss was a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, they had their chances, competed deep into that game, but had a few lulls there that just kind of took them down.
Well, this has to be a frustrating loss because they actually played well, but it still wasn't enough for them to get the win.
Here's Van Vliet. Following the basket by Trae Young. Here's Whitmore. Covered by Vassell. Van Vliet can't get that one to fall.
Now, this hasn't been his quarter so far. He's really struggling to get going.
And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Young taking his time here. Launches it.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
Here's Whitmore. And the layup's good off the glass. Whitmore's got 5.
And Whitmore a beast inside because of his power and ability to elevate.
Here's Castle. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. That one on Thompson.
Nice work to get it inside and draw contact.
The Spurs shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. That's good from Castle. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Rockets trail. Thompson outside. Pass to Whitmore. No good from outside. For San Antonio, they've gone 4 of 10 shooting the ball here in the first quarter. Young, good. He's got 9.
Well, such a creative finisher. Young will find a way, even with the defender all over it.
Whitmore with it. Thompson outside. And the basket is good.
Yeah, so skilled offensively. Getting the ball in his hands is generally a good idea.
And timeout is called by Greg Popovich. Wants to talk some things over. Might be seeing some things to adjust. The Rockets making a switch here. Shepard's checked in. Now Young. 9 points in the game so far. Kept alive. Now here's Thompson. Over Castle. Thompson misses.
When the defense is playing off you like that, you want to be able to convert. But that time, he just couldn't get it done.
Wembanyama sets a screen for Vassell. Gets it to go from beyond the... Here's Young. 11 points in the game. The post pair form, it'll be Smith and Şengün. Corey Kispert is out there with Fred VanVleet. And it's Eason in at the 3. So that's who's on the floor for the Rockets. Spurs leading by 12. Young outside. Vassell, a screen on VanVleet. Shots good from Young.
Look, it's like clock. Work for this guy. Young could probably run the pick and roll in his sleep.
Pass to Şengün. And the rejection by Wembanyama. Here's Young. And another make to his scoring column. His 5th basket of the game. Now shooting 5 of 11. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for San Antonio?
Well, their defense has been really impressive, especially the number of blocks they've managed to get. It's not easy to keep denying guys at the rim.
And also, given the game is more fast-paced nowadays, I like the way they've capitalized in transition, keeping their foot on the gas.
Now, here is Young, following the miss by Fred VanVleet. It's Vassell with the drive. He doesn't hit that one. Great defense that time from Şengün. Smith kicks to VanVleet. And it's Kispert in the corner. That falls. Great assist by VanVleet. Kispert's got 6.
And great find by VanVleet. He's in control of this offense and generally makes good decisions.
And timeout is called by Greg Popovich. He wants to talk to his guys. San Antonio leading by 14. On the wing, Harden, covered by VanVleet. Harden, no good.
Well, you can tell he thinks he should have had that one. Even harder on him when he's got a good look like that and it doesn't go down.
In the corner, it's VanVleet. Pass to Eason. Pocket 6. From downtown. Rebound San Antonio.
Yeah, and they're fighting to get back in this one, but unfortunately, he just keeps coming up empty.
And he comes up with the deuce.
And for Harden, finishing through contact is just part of the job description. He gets bodied up almost every time he takes it inside.
Here's Kispert. James Harden picking up that last basket. Shot by Eason, no good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to shoot his way out of this one or not.
Wembanyama, a screen on VanVleet. Harden finds Wembanyama. And it's Wembanyama with the jam.
Oh, great decision there. Get it to Wembanyama and let Victor finish as the roller.
Rockets trail by 18. VanVleet outside. Smith outside. Trying to find Şengün. He gets it to him. And some nice passing there by Houston. And here's Kispert from the arc.
And offensively, they've gotten stuck on the perimeter, falling in love with the jumper.
And it's blocked by Şengün.
Using that length, Şengün timing the block.
And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And guys, you don't think this fella can do some major damage if he gets an opening to the rim.
G8, they just learned that lesson the hard way. They better put a little bit more effort into their D the next time down.
Yeah, look, never tempt a guy with a sure thing. No surprise to see him taking advantage like that.
Even without the explosive athleticism, Şengün still able to play above the rim.
A shot by Harden, wide open. No good on the triple. The Rockets shooting a pretty cool 37% from the floor in the second. Not what they're looking for. The shot's good from Kispert.
And that's just showing off right there, guys. I mean, he is too good with that crossover.
Wembanyama, a screen on VanVleet. On the wing, Melton. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Melton's got 5 points so far. And so Van Vliet will bring it up for Houston. It's an 18-point game. Şengün against Wembanyama. Smith outside. And again, it's the Rockets from deep.
And they're hitting the long-range shots that they were missing in the first quarter, but still have ground to make up.
Wembanyama, a screen on Van Vliet. Harden scanning the floor. Tried to come right back with the three of his own, but it's no good. Here's Eason. Here's Van Vliet. Again, the Rockets score.
And unafraid to challenge the heart of this defense. Van Vliet's a strong finisher for his size.
Harden outside. Lets it go from deep. A three-pointer is right on target. Harden's got his third basket of the night.
And that pick takes the D totally out of the equation.
Yeah, you've got to lock and trail hard. You can't allow him to clean look for you.
And so it's San Antonio in command with a 16-point lead as the buzzer's out. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much. Here with Greg Popovich. Pop, what did you...
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
Hello and welcome. And here in Game 4, you couldn't have drawn up a better first half for the San Antonio Spurs.
I've got to admit, even when these guys are covered, they make the shots.
Yeah, you like to say close out on the shooters, make them earn their points aside. But even if that were tried, I don't think it would play out that way.
Looking at the scenario for the Houston Rockets. Things not looking great, trailing big. How do they rally back?
Oh, you're asking me? I don't know. I'll give it to Coach Kenny over there. Who you got, Jet?
Well, this is where pride has to kick in. Down in the series, backs against the walls, are you going to pack it in or do you want to battle?
That is the question. Men or mice? Got to stick with it. That is more than enough of us. Let's send you back to the game. Kevin Harlan and crew with the second half.
And we welcome you back to Game 4 on 2K Sports. It's been one outstanding game from Trae Young.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they drew up in the locker room because you're right. He's the problem right now.
Here's Van Vliet. So with Harden on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Zohan is the 4 with the lengthy Wembanyama playing the 5. Trae Young is out there with Castle. And it's Vassell in at the small forward. And it's Smith that time on the assist by Thompson. And that's now 7 points so far for Jabari Smith. Van Vliet against Young. From deep. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Şengün's got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. And then Smith with the dunk.
And guys, we're going to see a lot of that from this young man. Smith right now beasting.
Here's Castle. Takes the 3. That one, no good. Here's Whitmore. Basket, good. Whitmore's got 7 points in the game.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Vassell outside. Over Whitmore. Here's Wembanyama. Easy money for Wembanyama.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Şengün with the screen for Van Vliet. Out to Thompson. 5 on the clock. Takes a 3. Rebounded by the Spurs. Wembanyama's got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. Jabari Smith picks one up.
Well, with the ball in Young's hands, good things usually happen for this offense.
So far, he's hit all of his shots at the foul line, going 4 for 4. The first one falls. And he makes both free throws.
Yeah, well, sometimes Trae Young can seem a little temperamental, but that really just speaks to his passion, and you can't teach that.
Whitmore with it, covered by Vassell. Van Vliet kicks to Smith. Tries it from 9. That is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to just 12 points on the bucket from Van Vliet.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
Wembanyama, a screen on Van Vliet. Oh, there's the strength training. Wembanyama.
He's been reliable from the floor, and that's reflected on the scoreboard.
And here's Van Vliet from the arc. Wembanyama with the rebound. Wembanyama's got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Thompson dishes to Smith. Van Vliet outside. And Fred Van Vliet is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
And timeout is called by Greg Popovich. He wants to check in with his team and regroup. Spurs leading by 14. Young inside, covered by Van Vliet. He had a nice open look right there. Sohan's got 18 points.
Well, he's looking like a first-rounder. Sohan completely taken over.
Thompson outside. Little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Van Vliet finds Smith. From outside, off the mark.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
It's Young on the wing. He's covered by Thompson. Lets the 3 fly. Rebound by Smith. Smith's got his 6th rebound on the night. Pass to Şengün. And here is Van Vliet. Smith for 3. Rebounded by Castle. Castle's got 5 rebounds tonight.
Well, and after making just 1 triple going into the break, he's still looking for his first make from distance here in the second half.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Thompson outside. Van Vliet against Young. Pass to Whitmore. That falls. Great assist by Van Vliet. Van Vliet's got 4 assists in the game. Van Vliet against Young. Here's the 3. Rockets with the rebound.
He had 6 points from long range in the first half, but nothing's fallen here since.
Smith against Vassell. Whitmore with it. He's got 10. Out to Thompson. Şengün with the screen for Thompson. Pass to Whitmore. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Then one on Castle.
This is what I love about Whitmore, his fearless attitude and that ability to draw foul.
Free throw good, Whitmore. San Antonio making a switch here. Holiday's checked in. And both free throws good for Whitmore. So it's the Spurs now. They led the game at 1 point by 20. Pass to Castle. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Van Vliet. And here we go. Van Vliet heading to the hoop. And that one drops. Van Vliet's got 16.
It's been all Van Vliet tonight. One of the best undrafted players in league history.
Here's Vassell. Connects from three-point range. And the Spurs lead by 15.
Another good play. This is how they built the lead, calling on the right guys at the right time.
Yeah, come on. They're just having their way out there and continuing to press the advantage.
Matisse Thybulle checked in for Vassell.
Number 4, Matisse Thybulle.
So it's the Rockets now. Şengün, no good. Here's Castle. He's covered by Thompson. Outside Holiday. It's tipped. And it's blocked. The Rockets shooting 43% from the field.
And guys, just really impressed. They made big plays when it counted, and that's why it's going to be on to the next round for the Spurs.
When you shoot this well from three-point range, you're really hard to stop. The defense didn't rotate out fast enough to stop the hot shooters.
Exactly, Kevin. They were lethal from deep.
And tonight's win really a reflection of how dominant they have been all series long. The 4-game sweep.
Yeah, I don't think they expected to pull off such a decisive win, but they had the momentum all series long. Time now, they get to move on.
And as usual, some excellent work tonight in what was a quality big impact game for Victor Wembanyama.
He has really stood out tonight with his work on the glass. You can see the extra effort coming through.
The post pair form, it'll be Smith and Şengün. Thompson is out there with Fred Van Vliet. And it's Whitmore in at the 3, the small forward. That's the 5 for Houston right now. And they do it. They'll move on to round 2. What a performance through the entire first round. Greg sweeping in 4 games. David, thank you as always. Well, that'll do it for now.